J-Real.
Good afternoon, people, and welcome back to the Average Joe Sports Talk Show. I'm your host, Jay Real. Welcome you back to our Friday edition of the show. We've been gone since last week, so we didn't do our Tuesday show, so the Magic Minute, all that went out the window, but we started again next Tuesday, so we look forward to that. But starting today, we are going to cover baseball because there's big news in baseball, of course, with Brian Braun. He did get suspended, and we expect some more suspensions to come right down the pipeline, and possibly as soon as, next week or so. Now, we're still anticipating to see what's going to happen with A-rod, and we got to look at this real carefully, folks. The Yankees do not want A-rod to play, and A-rod is saying that he is fit for play. Now, how would this impact the Yankees? If the Yankees allow A-rod to play any games this season, they lose the interest or the insurance money that they would be comping, which is, I believe, about 80 to 85% of the $20 million owed to A-rod for this season. And that's a lot of money, folks. That's not little chicken feed there. We're talking huge money, millions of dollars. So they are pushing and trying to hold A-rod from returning to the lineup and returning to the field for them. And that's why he's waiting. He's just sitting. He's saying that he's ready to play. His doctors are saying he's ready to play, but the Yankees are saying, no way, let's hold on here. Not only are they waiting for that, but the possibility of A-rod being suspended by Major League Baseball is another huge impact because the Yankees won't have to pay him any money for this season if he gets suspended in Major League Baseball. So really cool. A lot of information going to be coming out soon on that whole thing. Right now, A-rod is playing the part and just sitting back and waiting to see what happens there. So there's our little baseball news. We're going to move on to NFL because the NFL is starting to kick up. Training camps all started last week, so everyone's are at the starting of practices. Are starting up, and it gets that point of the time of the year for us football fans, and we just get excited. So a lot of football news to cover today. First thing we're going to talk about is the Philadelphia Eagles are getting on the way with their practices, and Michael Vick, you got Nick Foles, and Barkley are all in heated competitions for that first starting position at quarterback. It'll be interesting to see because I still think Michael Vick should be the one to get the start, but it's all going to be up to performance, I'm sure, for them. And then also the Jets QB, it's starting to get interesting because, again, who's it going to be for the Jets? A lot of competition there, and going to have to wait and see what's going to go down for them. And then in just some other news, the Brian Braun situation going in from baseball to football, him and Aaron Rodgers are supposedly like best buddies. They have businesses together, and Aaron Rodgers had been sticking up for Braun all the way up until the suspensions, and now he has recently came out in an interview and said that he was lied to by his best buddy or his good friend. But we have to say, who cares? The guy lied about taking steroids. It was one of his deep, dark secrets, and it's okay. No one's just going to come out and start admitting that they cheat in the sport that they supposedly love. So we have no problem with that. The guy cheated. He got busted. He took his suspension. It's going to be over after the season, and that's that. We can move on and move forward with all these PEDs and this situation with the clinic in Miami. And then also, the coach, Peyton, for the Saints is back with this team this year, and I'm going to have to say, I think this team is going to be completely different from last season with their coach Peyton behind the clipboard and calling all the shots. They shouldn't have been as bad as they were last year, but I guarantee you this year, with their coach back and a new vibration or a new vibrant feeling towards this season, they're going to do very well. And I expect them to be in the hunt at the end of the season. And then moving on, Tim Tebow was in his first practice with the Patriots, And this guy, I don't understand. Everyone supports him. Everyone's behind him. He has been learning and sitting behind the clipboard and supposedly focusing and fine-tuning his skills as a quarterback for at least a year or two now. And this guy cannot get better. He does not progress. He goes to his first Patriots practice, and he just bombs. He's throwing interceptions. He can't read the field and the defense, and he's making horrible passes and horrible decisions. I just don't understand why. You know he's getting the quality QB coaching with the Patriots. You know he's been on the off season working and really focusing on honing in on his skills, but yet he still just can't seem to get it all together or even produce in a controlled setting as practice without making horrible decisions. So, I mean, I'm really behind the guy. I really like Tim Tebow. He's a perfect athlete as far as not only on the field but off the field. He just has to get it together if he wants to stay in the league. So we're just going to keep our fingers crossed for Tim Tebow. And then Percy Harvin, oh my gosh, in Seattle, these guys paid so much for him to come on over from the Vikings, and he gets hurt. He is out for the season possibly with a hip injury. Man, this is going to crush them because with their young quarterback, Percy Harvin was going to be a huge target for him and could have racked up some big numbers and some good fantasy help for a lot of guys playing this season. But he's done. He's out possibly for the whole season. Again, he might be able to make it back before the season's over, but highly unlikely. And then A.J. Green also with Cincinnati pulled out some great numbers last year. A lot of people, high expectations for him this season with the Cincinnati Bengals because their whole team is expected to do something well this year. And now he himself is dealing with off-season and early injury. So again, those two guys, big receivers, we'll just have to wait and see what happens. But we're going to just wrap up the show for this Friday edition with a little bit of light talk on NasCar. You know, we have a lot of people that like to complain and whine about going 3 deep and 3 wide on the track. It can't happen. Then we have, you know, guys causing wrecks and then not wanting to take responsibility, or no, taking responsibility, but yet trying to say, hey, I took responsibility for it, so that's all I needed to do. The fact of the matter is, guys, Tony Stewart, if you're going to complain about guys going 3 deep on you and causing you to wreck, and then you want to call them every name in the book, guess what? You need to stop doing it yourself. You went 3 deep, you caused an accident, a young lady in NASCAR rolls her vehicle and now has a broken back, and herself is not blaming you, Tony, but yet she's man enough to say, hey, leave the guy alone. It's not his fault. It was an accident in racing. So you need to take a script right out of this young lady's book and stop being such a baby when someone makes a move on you and might do something you don't feel is right and causes you to wipe out. But anyway, folks, J Real's going to sign out. We got to say thanks to the Player Zone, Right on Time Airing and Delivery Service for bringing us the house so we can bring the show to you guys. Remember, leave feedback, comments. We'll do your topics on the show if it's feasible and if it makes a good topic. But for right now, J Real is going to sign out and say peace and much love. We'll see you next week on Tuesday's show. J Real. J Real.